Well, we are almost at the end of the year, so we're taking a look back at some of the biggest stories that we've covered on this show. A huge one, of course, is the record shootings and homicides in Portland. Let's bring in KGW investigative producer Andrew Dorn. Andrew, we've been tracking these homicides in Portland this year. Just how bad has the situation gotten?
Well, Tim, I think it's safe to say what we've seen over the last year, and really over the last 18 months, is completely unprecedented. We know of at least 80 people who have been killed in the city of Portland just this year alone. And that's the highest number in modern history, worse than 1987 when 72 people were killed. And just to put that into perspective, in 2019, just 2 years ago, the city had 36 homicides. So we're more than double that. And in 2019, that was considered a really bad year. And of course, as we've seen, shootings have also picked up. We know about 80% of this year's homicide victims were killed by someone with a gun. We've had almost 1,200 shootings this year. Again, just 2 years ago, the city had less than 400.
Just astronomical climb. And you've been tracking the victims of these homicides as well, helping tell their stories. Why do you think that is so important for us to hear?
Well, I think it's important for a few reasons. Those numbers I just mentioned are just that. They're numbers. For people who've been paying attention, they know the data. But what it really doesn't tell us is really who these people were. And every single one of these victims has a story. Many were mothers and fathers. They were members of our community. I think of someone like Brianna White, who drove a bus for TriMet and leaves behind 2 kids. I think of Jacob Vasquez, who was shot and killed, while just hanging out at a bar after a long day at work. And, the other thing is, I think it's an important reminder that a lot of these families haven't received justice. About 60% of this year's homicides are still unsolved.
Yeah. Do we know why this is happening, Andrew? Why has 2021 been such a violent year in Portland?
And of course, that's really the question on everyone's mind right now. We talked to Portland police. We've heard a lot from them. They're short-staffed. They don't have the resources. Homicide detectives are completely overwhelmed. We've also talked to leaders in the community and members in the DA's office to try and make sense of this. And there's no simple solution. It's really a perfect storm right now, a combination of the coronavirus pandemic, coupled with the staffing challenges of the Portland Police Bureau. I think if you had to choose a month when things really took off, we're looking at July 2020. There was widespread civil unrest in the city. And a combination of all those things has just really created a really dangerous and deadly year in the city.
Yeah, for sure. Andrew, thanks for your work on this. We appreciate it.